What's going on, everyone? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Ducks Dish podcast. I'm your host, Max Torres. And today on the Ducks Dish podcast, I have another recruiting interview to bring to you guys. Big time prospect out of the state of Arizona, 2024 Basha High School quarterback, Demond Williams. How's it going, man? Thanks for taking some time to join us.
Yes, sir. It's going pretty good. Spring ball just ended yesterday, and I'm just taking it a little bit easy today.
Glad to hear it. All right. Well, kind of want to get to know you a little bit before we talk about the recruiting process and everything going on with football. So just to start things off, just wanted to learn a little bit about kind of your childhood, what it was like for you growing up in Arizona.
Growing up in Arizona, it's definitely different because I grew up mostly in Tucson, so it's a little bit smaller area. And when I moved out to Phoenix in about like third grade, fourth grade, that's when I really got into like tackle sports, and then I just really took off from there.
Okay, so started playing tackle in third or fourth grade.
No, my first year was kindergarten, but my first year like where I was like productive was like third grade.
Oh, okay. Wow. So, I mean, I'm not sure how much you remember about it, but what was the conversation about like getting into tackle at such a young age? Because I feel like not every parent sees kind of eye to eye on that, and it's kind of a touchy subject.
Well, I first started off playing flag football, and then I played one game of flag, and I had like I don't even remember for real, but it was something outrageous. Like it was a lot of tubs. I had a lot of tubs that day, and then my dad was kind of just like it was boring, so I switched over and I played up. So I was like 7, and I played like 10U, and I never really played for real, but I was just learning.
Wow. Okay. So getting exposed to that tougher competition, I'm sure
Yeah,
really kind of helped you develop into the player that you are today.
right.
Okay. Um, And then I know that a lot of people, especially now that are getting major college offers, a lot of them do more than just football. So what's kind of your background as far as maybe other sports when you were growing up and kind of what you're up to now?
I was a real big basketball kid going through like kinder through 8th grade, and then once I hit high school, I was like it was like mandated for me to run track. So I was kind of like I don't really want to play basketball because I want to have a time in the year where I'm kind of like off of sports, and then I hop right back into it. So right now I'm just doing track and football, but I have played baseball and basketball in the past.
Okay, so we got some multi-sport excellence, to work with in your background. I know a lot of guys that do track. It's to stay fast and stay in shape, especially with you kind of being a dual threat guy who can certainly run and pass the ball. Um, what was I going to say here? I think one of the questions I had for you, Demond. So you started playing football at a really young age, but how exactly did you go about gravitating to the quarterback position? What a lot of people would say the most important position on the field.
Well, I mean, it's like kind of like every youth kids type of thing. Like whoever's played youth football has most likely played quarterback at least once before, just because their team probably didn't have one. And that's kind of the same thing for me. Like we ended up not having a quarterback, and I was able to pass a little bit still at the time. So I was just like, I just stuck with it, and then I still played like defense and stuff like that up until like 8th grade, where my 8th grade team was like a nationally ranked team, and they were kind of just like, if you're gonna play quarterback, you can't play defense, and then I just kind of just stayed at quarterback.
Okay, so it was kind of as you got closer to high school that you had to choose to just focus on quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay. And then this one's kind of a fun one. What do you enjoy most about playing quarterback, and who do you like to kind of model your game after?
What I like most about playing quarterback is probably just being able to like be able to manage your team up and down the field and be able to really control the game. Like there's multiple times in game where like let's say the other team scores, I like to just think in my head like let's come back and let's match what they just did.
Okay, so kind of just like going blow for blow with the opponent and kind of
Yeah,
taking the air out of the ball type of a deal.
yeah, and then someone I do like to model my game after is Russell Wilson. I mean, it's like ever since I was little, he's always been like my quarterback that I've always just looked up to, and he's obviously still doing stuff that he was doing since I was 8 years old.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely see, some Russell Wilson here, especially with your ability to improvise and extend plays. For someone who maybe doesn't know you super well as a recruit, Damon, what do you think you like to pride your game on, or what makes you stand out the most?
Probably my work ethic for sure. I just want to be the best at everything I do, no matter what we're doing. I just want to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I do it to maximum potential that I can.
Okay. Yeah, I like the mindset, and clearly it's paying off for you in a big way with the some of the momentum you're getting on the recruiting trail, and how well you guys have been playing at Basha. Um, Wanted to transition things a little bit. We're kind of getting to know some more background on you. Wanted to talk about the recruiting process before we get into kind of any specifics. You're a 2024 quarterback, so you haven't even played your junior season yet, but you have these schools that you're in contact with, and they're trying to get you out for camps and visits. How do you just kind of manage all of that, seeing that you are still so young, but all these schools are still coming in?
Well, I feel like I did mature at a pretty good young age. So, I mean, a lot of the stuff coming my way, I feel like that I've earned from my production on the field and in the classroom. So, I mean, it's not that hard to deal with, but at the same time, it's obviously a factor.
Yeah, it sounds like you got a good head on your shoulders as far as just kind of how you handle all that attention and all the buzz. So that's certainly good to hear. Um, but now let's talk about you on the recruiting trail a little bit. I believe you've been able to take some recent trips out to Cal and a pair of the Arizona schools. How are things looking? Just kind of big picture for you with the recruiting process.
Well, for me, I wanna commit by the time anywhere between December of this year and my birthday of next year, which is March 20th. So I mean, anytime between then and then, whatever happens between there is will be the deciding factors.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. So you're not wasting any time. I know another Arizona quarterback, Dylan Raiola, I think is how you say his name. He just came off the board to Ohio State. With quarterback recruiting, it's a little bit of a different game because these guys, a lot of schools like to get these guys in the fold early. Well, why do you want to make that decision around that timeline?
I just feel like it helped me and whatever school that I choose that I'd be able to recruit for that school. Just be able to try to get people in my class because it all starts with the quarterback. So if you get a good quarterback in that class, I feel like it's a lot easier to generate more athletes around in that class.
Yeah, if you have that quarterback, you can kind of be the face of that group. So a couple of those schools that I mentioned, Demond, Cal, Arizona State, and Arizona. Just wanted to get some of your thoughts on those schools, seeing that you were able to kind of make your way out there for some visits recently here in the spring in the past couple months.
Yeah, I loved Cal. I loved all of them to be honest, but Cal really jumped off the board to me the most, and Arizona is right there as well. I mean, ASU hasn't pulled the trigger yet, of course, but I mean they're always going to be up there, hometown type thing. So, I mean, everything was good about them.
Okay, I think that one of the schools that I'm really interested in, I wanted to talk about Arizona for a second because you have Jed Fish there, who's kind of going about rebuilding the program and certainly has a lot of excitement there. What are you hearing kind of from that coaching staff and maybe some of the recruits that have committed there?
They're like that program can really make you NFL ready, and you can just be able to transition from whatever your end goal is, which for me is the NFL. So if I wanted to go to a college, the more that I can help myself get to that end goal, then I'll do that.
Okay, gotcha. And for Cal, you got Justin Wilcox over there. I think a lot of people want to think about Aaron Rodgers as the quarterback that's gone through Berkeley. But what made Cal jump off the board to you, or kind of catch your attention when you were out there in Berkeley?
Their coaching staff. I mean, I'm obviously been really close with Coach Kenny since he was at TCU before. That's where I met him at, and then when he went to Cal, it just felt like the transition over there, and then being able to go on a visit there. I just felt really loved and appreciated when I was there.
Okay, got to show the love and keep those relationships strong throughout the process. Now kind of wanted to talk a little bit about Oregon, seeing that that's, my angle over at Ducks Digest and here on the Ducks Dish podcast. What does that offer mean for you in your recruitment? Because when I talked to you a couple months ago after you took an unofficial out here, it sounded like it was a pretty meaningful school for you.
Yeah, it is still meaningful to me. I mean, I felt like that me being able to throw for Coach Dillingham really showed my skill set and how I could stack up in that offense. So, I mean, I do feel like it'd be a great opportunity with how many athletes they get, and my boy Cole's going there. So,
Yeah, no doubt. Cole Martin is definitely kind of something that's working in Oregon's favor, and then they also recently offered Miles Lockhart, so they're really just blitzing the state of Arizona, led of course by Kenny Dillingham, who's an Arizona native. You talked about seeing kind of how you stack up in that Oregon offense, maybe through some of the conversations you've had with the staff. With your skill set and kind of what Kenny wants to do with this offense, what does that look like in your eyes?
I mean, I think that I'm able to improvise plays and make things happen that maybe other quarterbacks can't make happen in certain situations. But at the same time, I feel like I can run a structured offense to where I can do everything that's asked of me.
Yeah, I mean we can see the highlights here for those of us watching on YouTube. You guys can find this episode of the pod on Oregon Football Max Torres. You can just see what Damon brings to the table here. Um, Man, I think it's kind of crazy just seeing how much you are able to run, and it just makes you that much more versatile. Do you enjoy running as much as you do? Because I feel like some people maybe on the outside they see someone who's as mobile as you are, and maybe they don't give you the credit you deserve as a passer. Have you kind of ever run into that?
I haven't personally, but just being able to run has always been a factor in my game. So I mean, it's not that I enjoy running, if that makes sense, but if they're gonna drop everyone back because they're so scared of getting beat deep, I mean, there shouldn't be a reason why I can't just take off and get a free 15 and possibly break one.
Okay, cool. Um, just seeing what else I have to ask you here. Um, I think with the Arizona scene, you have Basha and then Saguaro as well. Just wanted to kind of get some of your thoughts on the state of Arizona as far as football goes, and they're starting to get a lot of respect nationally. It feels like.
Yeah, the 23, 24, and the past classes that have came through Arizona has been really, really good. And I feel like it's really putting Arizona football on the map for the most part to where everyone can respect the athletes that come out of here.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just the Pac-12 schools that are coming, coming in there and checking you guys out. As I mentioned, with Oregon jumping into your recruitment here, in the kind of official capacity with an offer. Do you think you're going to be making it out to Oregon here? That was one of my questions. Is what do future visits look like for you?
My future visits are looking like, just for right now, is Georgia and Bama, which is Bama will be on June 14th and 15th, and Georgia will be on June 16th, and then possibly USC on June 11th.
Okay, and as you head out to SEC country, what are you going to kind of be looking at there with some very highly touted programs?
I'm just looking for. I mean, I don't even know what to expect for it because I've never been like I've lived in Alabama before, but I've never been to an SEC school on a visit or anything like that. So I mean, I guess it'll be my first time really experiencing it.
Cool. Okay, so kind of have a little bit of a fresh perspective, seeing it from the recruiting side of things. Just a couple more for you, man, and then we'll get you out of here. Now that you just finished spring practice, and we're kind of looking at the recruiting process and the practices getting ready for next season, 2022 season with the Basha Bears. What do you kind of have your eye on, or what are you hoping to get out of this 2022 season? What can we expect from you guys?
Definitely a state championship. I mean, that'll always be the end goal for me, no matter where I'm at in high school, college, the pros, or hopefully the pros. I mean, like anywhere I'm at, the goal should always be a championship. So, I mean, the end goal for us will be the open championship and then going undefeated in the regular season.
All right, got shooting for those high goals. and definitely going to be a fun school to watch here in the 2022 season for football fans, whether they're in Arizona or the West Coast. Last one I had for you, Damon, you talked about how you've handled the recruiting process, and you've really earned everything that's come your way. What are some of the lessons that you're learning, whether it be as an athlete or just as a person, as you navigate the recruiting process?
Just be as humble as can be, because you just got to know that there's kids out there that obviously would love to be in your shoes or in your situation, and then you just got to feel blessed and just like beyond compare to know that like you're actually living what you've been dreaming about.
Chasing the dream, man. That's awesome. Well, I'm excited for you. Before you get out of here, Demond, wanted to ask you, where can people find more of you on social media? I want to give you a chance to plug those profiles.
My Instagram is at demond.williamsll, and my Twitter is qbdwilliams1.
All right. So, guys, make sure you tap in with Demond over on his social media. Big thank you to him for taking the time out of his day to hop on the podcast. If you guys want to find more of me, you can find me on Twitter at mtorresports. You can find me on YouTube at Oregon Football Max Torres. Like and subscribe. And then if you want to find the written recruiting updates, you can head on over to ducksdigest.com. That'll do it for this episode. A big thank you to Demond, and thank you guys for tuning in wherever you're tuned in. And we will see you guys in the next episode.